Hey, let me ask you something. Picture this. It's the middle of the month. Your rent or mortgage just hit the account. Groceries are due. Maybe the car needs tires, or the kids have some unexpected school thing. You look at your calendar and realize you've got another 2 full weeks before the next paycheck lands. And in that moment, you feel it, that quiet tightness in your chest, the sense that every single hour of your life is still being traded for dollars. I've been there. Most of us have. But here's what almost no one talks about. There comes a day, and it's quieter than you expect, when something shifts, when the very first $1,000 of passive income lands in your account, and suddenly, the math of your entire life starts to feel different. Not because you're rich, not because you quit your job, but because, for the first time, a piece of your money is working while you sleep. And that tiny change? It quietly rewires how you think, how you decide, and how you feel about your future. Soft pause, gentle smile. Today, I want to walk you through what that moment actually feels like, and why everything really does start to change after that first $1,000. Reframe the problem. Most people hear passive income and immediately picture yachts, private islands, or some influencer promising you'll never work again. And because that feels so far away, they tune out. They think, that's not for someone like me. I'm just trying to keep my head above water. But here's the reframe. That first $1,000 isn't about escaping your life. It's about loosening the invisible grip that active income has on your nervous system. See, right now, whether you realize it or not, most of us are running on a scarcity operating system. Every expense feels like it's coming straight out of your time and energy. You get paid, the money goes out, and the cycle restarts. It's exhausting because your brain is constantly scanning for threats. What if hours get cut? What if the next layoff hits me? Passive income doesn't magically remove those threats, but it starts to give your brain proof that not every dollar has to be fought for in real time. And that proof? It changes the story you tell yourself about what's possible. Deep explanation, storytelling flow. Let me tell you about Sarah. She's 34, works in marketing, 2 kids, decent salary on paper. On the surface, she was doing fine. But every Sunday night, she'd feel that low-level dread about the week ahead. Not because she hated her job, but because she knew that if anything unexpected happened, a medical bill, a car repair, even just inflation creeping up on groceries, she'd have to pull from the emergency fund she was desperately trying to rebuild. Then she started something small. Nothing dramatic. She automated $300 a month into a simple index fund that paid dividends. Over time, she added a little more from a side project she actually enjoyed. After about 28 months, her portfolio crossed the threshold where it was throwing off roughly $1,000 every single month in dividends and interest, completely on autopilot. The first month it happened, she almost didn't notice. The money just appeared. But then she paid the electric bill with it, and something shifted in her body. For the first time in years, she didn't feel that little spike of anxiety when the bill came through, because that $1,000 wasn't tied to her showing up on Monday morning. It was just there. That's the psychology of it. Your brain has this thing called the status quo bias. It hates uncertainty. When 100% of your income depends on you trading hours for dollars, your nervous system stays in a low-grade fight or flight. But when even a small slice, say 10 to 15%, starts coming in without you having to be on, your brain registers safety. Real, measurable safety. And safety changes decisions. Suddenly, you're not saying yes to every overtime shift out of fear. You're not staying in a soul-crushing meeting because you're terrified of rocking the boat. You start asking different questions. Do I actually want to spend my time this way? It's not magic. It's compound interest, doing what it was always designed to do, quietly, relentlessly in the background. $1,000 a month at a conservative 7% average return is built on roughly $180,000 to $200,000 of invested capital, depending on how you structure it. But the real number isn't the dollars. It's the freedom those dollars represent. I've watched this play out with so many regular people. The teacher who finally took a lower paying but more fulfilling role because her dividend income covered the gap. The software engineer who turned down a toxic promotion because he no longer needed the extra stress pay. The couple in their late 30s who looked at each other one night and realized they could actually afford to have one parent step back for a few years if they wanted to. None of them became millionaires overnight, but all of them stopped feeling like every choice had to be run through the filter of, will this mess up next month's bills? The turning point? Here's where it gets interesting. The real turning point isn't the money hitting your account. It's the moment you realize you're no longer negotiating with your future self from a place of desperation. Before that first $1,000, most decisions are fear-based. I have to take this job. I have to say yes to this client. I have to keep pushing. After it, the same decisions become possibility-based. What actually aligns with the life I want to build? It's subtle, but it's profound. You start protecting your time differently. You start saying no more gently, but more often.
No.
You begin experimenting with the edges of your life, taking a class, volunteering, spending an extra hour with your kids, because you're no longer terrified that one slow month will break everything. That $1,000 becomes proof of concept, proof that the game can be played differently, proof that your money can start serving you instead of the other way around. And once your brain has proof, it stops fighting the idea. It starts helping you find the next $500, then the next $1,000. Not because you're suddenly a finance genius, but because the emotional resistance is gone. Practical takeaways, gentle, realistic. So how do you actually get there without burning out or chasing shiny objects? Start ridiculously small and ridiculously consistent. Maybe it's $50 a month into a high-yield savings account or a total market index fund. Maybe it's setting up one digital product or renting out a parking spot or putting a little extra into dividend-paying stocks you actually understand. The vehicle matters less than the habit of letting money work in the background. The key is automation. Set it and forget it. Because the moment it requires daily attention, it stops being passive and starts becoming another job.
It stops being passive.
Track it once a quarter, not every day. Watch it grow the way you'd watch a plant, with patience and quiet curiosity. And be kind to yourself on the timeline. For most people, this first $1,000 takes somewhere between 18 and 36 months. That's normal. That's human. You're not behind. You're just building something that most people never even start. Closing reflection. Look, I'm not here to tell you this will solve every problem in your life. Money is only one piece of the puzzle. But I will tell you this. When that first $1,000 of passive income lands, when you see it sitting there, quietly doing its job, you'll feel something you haven't felt in a long time. A little more space, a little more choice, a little more peace. And in a world that's constantly telling you to hustle harder, that quiet peace, it's everything. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to be an investing expert. You just need to begin. One small, consistent step at a time. Your future self isn't waiting for you to figure everything out. They're just waiting for you to start. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.